Hey YouTube, this will be my second video. I had some requests about my breastfeeding journey, or some questions about my breastfeeding journey, so I figured I'd let you know how that went. So, when I was pregnant with Douglas, he wasn't due until sometime late March, and I believe I was rolling into 3 days late for my my supposed due date. My OBGYN said that I had high blood pressure, which I think it was nervousness. So I went in and they quickly decided that I needed an induction. So I began with an induction, which slowly turned into emergency C-section, very slowly. So that went down, and right after I had the C-section, they rolled me out and latched Douglas onto me, which was actually pretty good. I was kind of out of it at the time, so I didn't have any clue what was going on. I vaguely remember him after the surgery. So anyways, I remember waking up 2 hours later and he was beside me in the cot, or he was in his little bassinet. Anywho, I tried to latch him on and it really wasn't working out, so I had a nurse that came in and did a cross cradle, which is holding him like across my chest and latching him onto one side. Anywho, that really didn't work, especially with a C-section. It put pressure on my wound, and I have big breasts, so at that point it was like I felt like it was smothering him. I wasn't comfortable with it, so she just took off. She latched him and just disappeared. Anyways, I of course let him nurse. Freaked out at my mind, and it hurt so bad. I was told it's not supposed to hurt that much. I might be uncomfortable or maybe some discomfort, but blisters and bleeding and stuff like that's not supposed to happen. Well, anywho, I didn't see her for 4 to 6 hours, so showed up again. He's crying. She latched him again. Didn't really discuss anything with me, didn't give me any pointers or anything, and that was a terrible, terrible 24 hours. I phoned my husband in the morning and I was like, bring formula, bring formula. And he was like, no, you told me not to bring you formula. I'm not bringing you formula. I'm coming in. So he came in at 7 a.m. I hadn't slept all night. And he starts helping me express milk. I guess he has a lot of experience handling the ladies. So that worked out pretty good. We went right that morning to a lactation consultant and she kind of helped us out there. Still, latching wasn't all that great, but it could have been worse. Luckily, I had lanolin. Ladies, lanolin. Lanolin will save your breasts. So anyways, I get home and I'm still a little bit stressed, and I think that kind of inhibits breastfeeding a little bit. I'm pretty engorged. But, well, the lactation consultant taught me the football hold to nurse Douglas, so I was doing that when I got home, and it worked beautifully. And it worked beautifully, well, the whole entire time. He was, like I'd say, newborn to 6 months. I football held him with a nursing pillow, and it was wonderful. And I laid down in bed and I nursed him alongside me, and that helped a lot. Anything that didn't put pressure on my C-section scar, or my wound, it's a scar now. So, right up until he was 6 months old, I had no issues with nursing him after that. Not really. I made sure I showered and and you know what I mean. I did compressions on my breasts, and I didn't overfill with milk, and I didn't pump too much, so I wasn't overly engorged, which was pretty good. I just kind of nursed on demand and listened to what he needed, and it all worked out pretty good. I'm really lucky. But when he turned somewhere between 6 and 9 months, probably 6 months, 6 or 7 months, I would say, he started getting teeth, and he was nursing all the time because he was in pain, and it was soothing for him. He wasn't biting down quite yet, so it was telling my breasts to produce a lot more milk. my let down was really forceful. So he had to, so ladies, that's probably why they have to bite down. They don't mean to bite you, but because they're nursing all the time, to soothe themselves, it's demanding milk, you know. It's demanding milk from your breast, it's telling your breast to create more milk. So that let down was really forceful. So he was putting pressure on the nipple so that it wouldn't choke him, which I didn't realize at the time. So what I did was I started unlatching him at that point, letting that initial letdown, you know, go, and then I'd relatch him once it wasn't so forceful. Anyways, I did that, and that worked out relatively well. But in that month or so, like month and a half or so, I didn't go and ask anybody, I didn't talk to anybody. So it was like really painful again. It was like relearning. He had a very shallow latch because he was kind of pulling back as he was nursing. So it was really painful because shallow latches just are painful, just so you know. If they don't have enough nipple in their mouth, you blister and you bleed and you hurt. So I wouldn't say teeth is an indication of weaning, but teething can cause a lot of problems as they're teething. So you have to go see, like, well, if you're having problems, some people don't. Some people do. I'm one of the ones that did. So I went and saw a lactation consultant, and we just figured that all out. I readdressed his latch. What I was doing was actually working out, so that worked. And then teething came and went, and that was that. And I kept on nursing him. And I really haven't had too many issues since, except for he does gym nurse tricks now, which is pretty much like he's nursing, and he spins around and he likes to look at everything as he's nursing. So that's a little bit of a fun time and a half there. Anywho, so that is my nursing journey in a nutshell. I wouldn't recommend weaning just because they're getting teeth. I would maybe look at other possibilities. Maybe always go see a lactation consultant, always. If one's not working for you, go look for another one. I wouldn't recommend going to a doctor only because I didn't get too much help from doctors. They just keep on saying wean. Just wean him, and that's that. And why would I wean him when it helps me put him to bed and helps me put him down for nap time? And he is such a well-adjusted, confident kid. Well, he's nursing, like, you know what I mean? He nurses and he's dealing with his emotions or whatever's going on in that little brain of his. And once he's done, he is good to go. He's not stuck to me. He's not clinging on me. He is gone. He'll wander across the field and go play on the playground and won't look twice at me. So, you know, I find he needs me when, you know, he's having an emotional moment, he's angry, he doesn't know how to deal with his emotions. He'll have a little bit of a nursing session, or he's, you know, staving off, you know, snack time or whatever, he wants a little drink, whatever. He nurses a little bit. But overall, except for, you know, the little nursings here and there, he only nurses in the morning, at noon, at night time, before bed, and then once at night time. Considering the kid nursed every 4 hours for the first 6 months of his life, or pretty much 9 months of his life, I'd call that a win. Doesn't bother me. When it did, I went to address it, fixed it, worked out. Lanolin across the board will save your boobs. Just saying. And making sure that they're, you know, not engorged and not hurting, and just being aware of, like, you know, lumps and bumps, and, you know, take care of yourself as well when you're nursing, so that way your nursing relationship can continue, because it is a lovely tool of survival with toddlers and babies. And it is the original mothering tool, and I don't care what people say. I don't care if they call it a crutch, it is a lovely, lovely crutch. So, that's my breastfeeding journey, ladies and gents, and thank you for watching.